Okay, so welcome to Chunky Boy Run Club week 5. So there has been a bit of a break in the cadence in this. It's been a good few weeks since I recorded a video, and I want to talk about that. The topic of this video is doubt, negativity, and failure. So it's been an interesting few weeks. I think the last time I recorded, I was just about to head off on holidays, and I guess since then I've had a few setbacks. I've had some doubt, I've had some negativity creep in, and there's been a question of failure and giving up. So that's what I wanted to talk about this week in this video. I just want to go through a couple of things, my experiences over this little period of time, because so far it's all been positive. And I put a couple of curves or graphs here up on the screen, and I think in terms of progress and reaching the goal, I think this top one is what a lot of people think that their journey will look like, and how the progress will go from starting to reaching their goal, and that it will be upward trending, and that it will be linear, i.e. it will be consistent. So every week that you will see consistent improvement and consistent growth consistently through the period of time right up until the goal. But that's not how things work. In reality, it's the bottom curve that is a better reflection of how things go over time. So we see a plateau, then we see an improvement, we see a peak, then there's a drop where you have a step back, something happens, a bump in the road, and as you see from this curve, it looks like bumps in the road. I think that's a good description. So you have a downturn then, and that's when the doubt and the negativity sets in, and then ultimately there comes a point where you feel uncomfortable, as that doubt and uncertainty has set in. You've reached the peak, you've gone to the heady highs where you thought this is going to go well and nothing can possibly go wrong and knock me back, and then you have a drop in form, and then there comes a point where you think, I can make this negativity go away, and the way to make that negativity to go away is just to pack it in and quit. It's one solution, it's one option, it gets rid of that feeling, but the real trick is to get back to the plan, get back on plan, get out there for a few weeks. Those next few weeks, they don't need to be the best few weeks of your life. They just need to be good enough to get back onto the plan and get back going, and get back onto that next little plateau and just get the hard work done. And after a period of time, once you get back in your groove, you'll start to see that improvement again, and you'll start to feel better. So maybe I'll just put it into context of what happened to me. I was away on holidays, and I was really looking forward to it. I think that was the last time I recorded the video, and I got there, and my first run was on the Tuesday. We got there on Saturday. The first run was on the Tuesday. It was 8Ks, an exploratory run, and it was a great run. I really enjoyed it, but I was doing it at 7 o'clock in the morning because it was so warm later in the day. So I was getting up early the second day. Then the Wednesday was the second run, and this was a repeat run, so 5 1K repeats with a break in between each. And again, I'd gotten up early, woken up about 6 to go out at 7, and the first 2 1K sections were great. I think they were about 4 minutes, and then the third 1K section was about 4:30. Now, the first 2 had probably been too fast, and then the 4:31, I guess, I really struggled through that, even though it's a good time, but that's when kind of the doubt began to set in then. And then when I went to run the 4th one, I just couldn't do it. I was just absolutely smoked. Didn't run the 5th one, trudged back to the hotel, and at that point I was really beginning to question myself. It was a kind of what I deemed in my head as a failure. All the other runs I'd kind of done according to the plan, and this had kind of been the first failure. And when I got back to the hotel, I was kind of questioning myself. What am I doing? Why am I getting up so early on holiday? The focus of this holiday now seems to be about getting these runs in, and the doubt was there. Maybe the first inkling of negativity was there. Later in the day, I just kind of thought about it more and more, and I just decided that I wasn't going to get up for the runs on the rest of the holiday, that I was on holiday and to take a break, and that was the sensible thing. a little bit of pain in my knee, but all of these things, I think they're the things that the previous week, everything's going well, you're in a positive mood, and none of those things affect you. But for some reason, the doubt sets in, negativity's there, and any excuse is a good excuse not to do it. So I took a couple of weeks off then while on the holiday, and when I came back I had a 10k run. So I didn't know how that 10k run was going to go. The original plan was to go sub 45 in that, and on the line I just kind of decided that sub 45 wasn't going to be a realistic goal. So I'd pull back a little more and try to run about 4:45. In the end, it went well. I think that I underestimated that doubt and negativity that was there. It kind of led me to believe that missing 3 or 4 runs in the plan was going to be enough to really shake the progress that I'd made before. I thought I'd taken a much bigger step back than I had, but I hadn't. And when I went out, I think I ran a 46:30 or something around that. I'll put the time up on the screen. But it was a great run. I had a great time. Loads of things had gone wrong the night before. The kids were sick, so I didn't get a great night's sleep. I couldn't find my AirPods, which I always run with. My Garmin charger had gone missing after the holidays, so the Garmin had no battery. And all of these things were enough where I was like, oh, I can sack this off. Like, I'm tired. I don't have all my stuff. I don't have my regular routine. This is enough to not do this run. But I went out and I did the run, and I got a better result than I thought I was going to get. So that was really the first kind of thing that kind of began to turn the corner for me and began to turn the negativity around. I kind of realized that all the work I'd done up to that point, there was no point in throwing away. It's not like your plan is to save money and get up to 4,000 and you get to 2,000 and 1 week you don't, or 2 weeks you don't save any money on top of that. You don't just go, oh, I'm never going to get to 4,000 and just throw away the 2,000. The 2,000 is still there in the bank. The 2,000 is still there to build on. And, that's kind of the position that I was at. So, I ran the race. I got a good time. I was happy. My knee was still a little bit sore, so I called my coach, and we took we decided to take a few weeks off the running and concentrate on cycling for those few weeks to give myself a bit of a break. Physically as well as mentally. Maybe I was a bit fatigued of the whole process. But the main goal there was to get back on course and not to quit, because at that point, the doubt was beginning to set in. So for those next few weeks, just got the head down, got out on the bike, did plenty of Ks on the bike, and in the last couple of weeks I've gotten back out running now. So starting to increase the volume again ahead of next week. Next Saturday, it's Sunday today. Next Saturday, it's Sunday the 11th today. Next Saturday the 16th, I think it is the 16k in the Phoenix Park. So I need to come up with a plan for that, because I think the original plan that I had in my head for that was 4:30 Ks, which I think is around 4:12 or 1 hour 12 or something like that. So, I'd still like to be doing sub 120. So somewhere between the two. So we'll see how that goes. We'll make a plan for it during the week. But the point is, I'm back on track. I guess I was doing very well prior to going on the holiday. I'd probably done 90% of the runs up until that point since the start of March. And that was the start of July that we were going away. So, I'd done a good amount of training. I'd been consistent. I had a lot of work in the bank. So it was really then, a matter of focusing on that and not letting the doubt creep in. And okay, you missed a couple of sessions, and that's fine. I think when you have the process and the process is going well and the progress is going well, then, you feel good. Once that doubt and negativity creeps in, you start to slip into that downward section of the curve, and through that time, a lot of anxiety creeps in. Why am I doing this? Why did I ever think this was going to be possible? This is a crazy idea. What am I doing? I'm so naive, and all of these things are a horrible feeling, and ultimately that feeling compounds and compounds, and then you come to a point, that downward slope can go on for a short time or a long time, depending on how quickly you catch it. But it's at that point where you catch it and say, okay, this is uncomfortable, and I can make this uncomfortable feeling go away by quitting, and I just give up. This uncomfortable feeling goes away, and this project is over, and I'm not going to worry about it anymore. That's how it makes it go away. Or you go, I can make this feeling go away by trying to get back on track. You know, you've had the knockback and it's time to get up. And in those weeks, the training feels different than it did before because it's getting back on track. It feels difficult. Oh, this is hard. But after the 2 weeks, 6 runs at that stage, you start to feel, oh, I'm getting back to it. I can feel it. I can feel how it's going to go again. And that little bit of upward trajectory starts again and you're off. So, I think that they're important things to consider is that, when the doubt starts, when the negativity creeps in, that's when you think, this is over. This is a failure and I'm going to quit. I'm going to give up now, and that's the way out of this. But, the trick to getting over those little setbacks is just, looking at your plan, talking to your coach if you have one, talking to someone you rely on, looking at the process that you've been following up to date. That's worked. Trust in the process. It's the old age adage, but trust in the process. Don't let the failure point come, and just get back on progress and get back on plan. And once you get back on plan, you get back into the groove, and then you see the progress starting again. So, that's just a little update on how things have been, and, a little experience that I've had and how I've grouped it up and thought about it in my head. Having talked to a few people, they've really helped me through. So yeah, look, onwards and upwards. Another 3 runs this week, Tuesday, Thursday, and then the 16k race Saturday. So yeah, I'll check in next week and let you know how I got on.